So the question is, must you know how to do a move in order to teach it? Must you know how to do a particular move in order to teach it? Okay. Now, there's a lot of educators out there with regards to breaking. A lot of teachers out there, and a lot of these educators out there, they have decades of experience, not just within breaking, but also educating, also teaching. Okay. A lot of these breakers, if you ask me personally, they understand the physics behind a particular move, whether they know how to do it or not. They can break down a particular move, and try to articulate the best strategy on how to accomplish this particular move. And that happens a lot. That's not just with breaking. I mean, you can look outside of breaking. I mean, there's people who can tell you how to, I don't know,
judge.
Just redo an engine, a car engine. If they've never built an engine before, but they can tell you how to put it together.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's individuals out there that do that type of thing. So, in your opinion, let's start with Rich Nice. Must you know how to do the move in order to teach it?
Going order.
Yes or no, Rich?
It's like an order. Do you have to know how to physically do the move in order to teach it?
Yes.
Yes. we've talked about that. So yes.
Okay.
I would like to answer that with you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just like, yes. Because also, I'm going to start from my personal experience. I've been teaching a long time, whatever. I am very quick to tell a student, I can't teach you a move if I can't do it. I'm very honest with them. I will bring in an expert, you know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people actually don't do. They're afraid to admit it. They won't bring in an expert. Like, even moves I do have, I'll bring it. Like, I have head spins. I'm not a master head spinner, right? So I'll bring in a head spin expert, someone who could head spin better than me, especially to teach. I think it's also detrimental for people to be teaching moves that they don't know how to do, because it's misleading, right? And if you're in a teacher position, it's your responsibility to set the best example, and obviously to have your students' best interests at heart. So I feel strongly about this because I'm a teacher, so that's a whole thing. But also, you're going into the whole physics of it, understanding physics of it, right? First of all, a lot of people didn't even take physics, but I digress. The whole thing, I get what you mean by body mechanics. I can explain a move. I can break down the concepts. I can actually even draw you a physical full body diagram of what the move is like and where it should be, and we could drop down speeds and put a 3D model and all that shit. You know what I mean? But if you ain't doing it, then you can't explain. You can't really. There's gonna be a part of that move that you will never be able to kind of break down to a person. And I think people who are teaching moves that they can't do, they should.
Well, let me jump in real quick, Rich. I want to push back a little bit because I can't say that I completely agree with you. You know what I mean? I think there are individuals out there that, for whatever the reason is, maybe they just can't do the move. Maybe from a physical perspective, maybe they're too heavy, maybe they're too skinny, maybe they don't have enough muscle mass. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't observe how a particular move is done and understand the technique behind it. You know what I mean?
That's fine. I'm talking about quality teaching. Like I just said, anyone can understand something if you watch it enough, watch it 100 times and things like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's coaches.
Right.
I mean, that's coaches in NFL.
Exactly. Right.
That's coaches in
basketball.
boxing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We don't expect them to be able to beat somebody up, but at the same time, they understand the technique and the strategic values
because they were once
move.
NBA players or they were once NFL players.
They may not have been
whatever
good.
regard.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So breaking's
continue.
not some unicorn that doesn't need to be the case. You know what I mean? Even more so since it's so physical, it definitely should be the case that they have to know how to do the moves. And also, I just want to add in the caveat why I extra feel some type of way about that, because there are a lot of, and I'm not going to name people, but for example, a lot of OGs who came up with original concepts, a lot of moves are being created at the time and things like that. You know, the backspins turned into windmills turned into halos and blah, 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 right? And it went up from there. And then you got people who, they understand flares, they understand windmills and things like that, and they're trying to teach you air flares and elbow air flares and things and they can understand 80-90% of the move, but we don't want to teach 90% of the move. I want to teach you the move. You know what I mean? So and in respect to that and there's plenty of basics, You know, you can't do all the air power without handstands and etc. There's plenty of building blocks, but you will never completely teach a move if you can't follow through on the completion of it. It's incomplete teaching.
Okay, cool. Baby girl, you want to jump in there?
Um,
Yes or no? Must you know how to do a move in order to teach it?
no, I really feel like you should know how to do the move, or if you're someone like, I would say I have taught in the past where whether I had my windmills or crab walks or 90s or hollowbacks or whatever those things. So I know the dynamic and the difference between a woman's body versus a male. Although, you know, obviously I don't break anymore. I'm pretty retired at that. You know, my edge is in promoting and production, and I do consultations when it comes to like that aspect of the hip hop culture. But I have taught other girls like how to go into a windmill better for her versus a fellow b-boy that was teaching her and seeing like in that moment, you know, making it my business to kind of jump in there.
If I could jump in real quick,
Sure.
do you ever get criticism from individuals in the breaking scene with regards to, you know, well, she don't even break no more. Who was the last time whoever seen her break to be in a position to be
Well, that's a very
judging
big jump.
or educating? Well, I'm saying I'm trying to correlate it to the topic. No, because
Yeah.
the topic is if you know how to do
Absolutely.
a particular move, should you be in a position to be, you know,
Mm-hmm.
teaching, and we can kind of correlate that to judging. We can correlate that to educating. We can
Absolutely.
correlate that
I'm glad
to-
you brought that up, actually, because it is a subject of matter that I've kind of fought with myself, because obviously I hear this from fellow B-boys and B-girls that are part of my community. They're up there, high ranked, have been on some of the biggest platforms and whatnot, but they've also hired me as well. So those obviously have a respect factor for what I've done and what I've seen and what I continue to follow as far as the evolution of change within everything, and understanding that I still acknowledge as an elder or elder to those, because I come from the 90s era, and so I've never left. You know, this is the one thing about Baby Girl that the world needs to know is I never left. Maybe would dip out for a little while when maybe my boys were playing sports or whatever. And a little while means like this is them playing AAU in this couple months during that season. But I'm at practice every Thursday. I'm at session every Thursday. I'm at every hip hop underground event ciphering. I'm at every jam. I'm at every, you know what I'm saying? So yes,
Okay.
actively active throughout the years. I mean, I can't help that I've had injuries that, you know, unfortunately have really played a big role in me not being this competitive level B-girl that I want to be wholeheartedly. So obviously there's a playing field role that I play here, but it is my duty and my job as me to take that education and continue like really being in it to be in it, not to be here. I don't take up space. You know, my thing is understanding the international realm of the B-girls that are out there killing it, as well as the B-boys. So for me to be able to be called upon and sit on a judging panel, I feel confident enough to be on that panel. That'd be one thing about not feeling it, because I'm maybe hearing it from peers, but that's the crazy thing about it. I've heard peers like say these things, but also hire me. So I think that's more of a within themselves versus me. You know what I mean? So
no,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
they should question themselves, not me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't question myself. I'm very confident in what I bring to the table for sure.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
wanna jump to it. Just saying too, like I use the example of like head spins, right? I would say, for example, I would rate my head spins a 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, right? On a good day, or an 8, 10, sure, right? I can only teach my student how to ever be a 7 out of 10 head spins. There's no way I could teach him out the fucking blue
Well,
a
Rich,
10 out of 10 head spins.
there's
you know what I mean?
individuals
Like-
out here that got 10 out of 10 head spins and they can't teach.
That's true.
So that was going to
Absolutely.
be my second point, is that not every good breaker is a great teacher, right? So therefore, it's my duty. Also, that's when you start bringing in specialized coaches, and that's
Right.
the difference between being a teacher and a coach. And that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not sure we
Okay.
want to get into.
Yeah,
but-
because even like just backdoor that too, like even having my own nonprofit and kind of seeing like where I want the foundation of B-Girl City organization to go, like I know already like what specific B-boys and B-girls that I would love to hire to acknowledge kind of like what's kind of going on in this evolution of new generation coming in. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be there necessarily to be the one that's going to teach them, but am I going to be the one that's going to have discussion panels with them and really acknowledge the history of the culture, you know, and what is community versus culture as well, you know?
Exactly. All right, guys. So the general consensus with regards to this particular question, must you know how to do the move in order to teach it? 72% said yes. 28% said no. So you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong.
I mean, that's their opinion. That don't make me right neither.
All right, so
Everything is relative.